Hello. Oh, let me take this off. The other thing didn't work, of course, so I'm going to just go traditionally through my live. Sorry, just through the feed. So hopefully, if you signed up for the one that was meant to go live a minute ago, you'll see this one instead. I hope. Anyway, so here I am. So if you're here, say hi, but I'm just going to keep going anyway because it's not going to work, is it? I can't test my Facebook bot. All right, I'll try that again another time. But I'm still going to do this live because the main thing I wanted to do was to talk about something. So we can just do it slightly the old-fashioned way. But what I wanted to talk about today was to speak to those people who are potentially interested in learning web design, basically. So I've been sort of emailing and talking to some people in my community, and there's definitely a subsection of you who are looking to learn WordPress because you want to offer it as a service, which I think is a fabulous idea. And so I thought that what might be helpful is some information on how you can go about finding the first web design client to start your, to start that side of your business, or start that service. And to let you know that I'm starting up, or I'm looking for some people to work with to help with that process, and part of that would be to be there right beside you to help you get that first client. But you know, you can go off and do that yourself as well, and I'll talk about that a bit more at the end, because I feel that if you've got someone experienced on that journey with you for that first, when you're going out to try and get those website jobs, that it gives you the confidence to be able to go out and actually charge for it and to know that you're going to deliver it, so that you're not spending those first few months working for free, which is one way of doing it, but we can fast track it because pricing is about confidence. And if you have someone like me beside you to help you with that, then you can go out and you can charge money from the very beginning. So what I wanted to do today is I'm going to do this Facebook Live. I want to go through some of the stuff, some of the stuff that's worked for me, give you some ideas. And if people are interested in this, like to have it as a more takeaway format, then I can turn it into like a PDF or a worksheet or whatever. But I just wanted to kind of gauge that interest. So, but the content's going to be here right now as well. All right. So my very first piece of advice to you is if you're going out to, so I'm just going to write another comment here, just in case anyone's wondering where I am. Okay. So yeah, my first main bit of advice is to pick a niche. Pick a website niche. Now, you might not know exactly what you want that to be long term, and over the course of working that out, you'll probably try different types of websites. But if you're new to this, I would cut your teeth on one of the simplest sites. So don't go out trying to sell an e-commerce site. Don't do a membership site. Nothing that's complicated, that's got too much going on. What you want is to find people who are in like a service-based industry. So think coaches or copywriters, or local businesses. So plumbers or acupuncturists or some, that kind of thing. So the website itself is fairly straightforward. It won't have to be more than 5 or 6 pages, maybe up to 10 pages. But there's nothing too complicated going on. You're not trying to integrate a membership plugin. You're not trying to integrate WooCommerce to kind of get an e-commerce functionality up and running. So that's what I would do. I'd go out, and that's the kind of client I'd be looking for, just to make it easier on yourself. And then what you need to do is create an irresistible offer. And also be transparent, be honest. And this is why I'm saying if you have someone mentoring you through this process, then you can approach people with confidence and say something like, you know, I'm adding this new, I'm starting a sort of web design arm to my business. Excuse me. And ultimately, what I'm offering is something that I would charge, say, $2,000 to $3,000 for. But because I'm at the beginning of this journey, I'd like to offer it to you for $1,000, say. Sorry, I've got a frog in my throat. And so you're kind of effectively offering a discount. When you do that to people, it becomes compelling. And then you can also be upfront and say, this is how I'm doing it. I've got someone experienced helping me. The quality of what I'll be delivering to you is to that standard. It's not a beginner's standard. And this is the process I'm going through. And you can make a very compelling case to go out and charge at least $1,000 for this website. You could push it up to $1,500. And then you don't want to bamboozle people with too much tech. So you need to kind of cater your offer towards the people that you are going to be talking to. So for example, local business owners tend to not be particularly interested in technology. So, you know, if you start talking about too much technical jargon, you're going to lose them. So you just need to sort of say, I'm going to create, for example, a website that will, well, part of the process is you will talk to them about what they want their website to do for them. And so for a local business, normally it's going to be getting people ringing up or making appointments, making inquiries. So, you know, you'll say the website will achieve that aim. We'll do it through having a contact form, or, you know, we'll have mobile optimized buttons so that people can just ring you straight from their mobile, and it will be SEO optimized, which means, and then you just give like a simple explanation of what that is. Because I'm not going to go into that too much, but you know, there are ways to optimize for local business that's different to online. So what was I saying? Anyway, so sort of simplify your offer, but make sure you tailor it to them. And so what I would do is find some, so you've got this offer in terms of the pricing, and then you want to start approaching people with it. And then you want to get them on the phone to talk them through it. And through that process of talking them through it, that's when you can kind of start saying the website's going to have X, Y, and Z based on what you've told me you want. And, you know, that's where all the value is packaged up into it. So in terms of finding these people, the best place is to just speak to people you know. Hit up your family, your friends, your acquaintances, just put it out there, LinkedIn contacts. You know, you have a network, you already have your own network, and people will be open to listening to, you know, what you're doing. You don't have to be pushy about it. You can just get in contact with the people and very simple email saying, hey, this is what I'm doing. I'm looking for just one client. I'm offering a 50 to 60% discount on the delivery of this website. If that's not you, do you know someone that you could refer me to? And it's quite a sort of straightforward approach, but it does work, because remember, you're trying to get just one client. Okay, you're not trying to set up anything fancy here. You just want to find what that one person that's going to pay you to build this first website as your sort of learning experience. And then in terms of, and I know a lot of people would start thinking, well, if I'm going to build websites, then I need to have my own website. And I, controversially, would say potentially you don't necessarily need to do that, because again, you're being transparent, you're being upfront. If it makes you feel more comfortable, you could go through that process first, so you kind of cut your teeth on your own website. So it's not a bad idea, but there's no reason you can't have your first learning experience as a paid one if you follow this process. So instead of I mean, if you're going to do a website, just set up a simple one. So don't get too caught up in making it like a lead generation machine. You just want to maybe just put up a couple of pages, keep it pretty straightforward, just so you've got some sort of web presence. But remember, if you haven't built websites before and you've got a website that doesn't have a portfolio on it, then, you know, it's a catch-22. So to kind of get that, you've got to get that experience to make your website sort of do what it needs to do. But I mean, at this point, you could just set up a simple calendar. Just sign up to something like Acuity, and then that's when people say, oh, yeah, I'm potentially interested. You just send them a link to your calendar, and you get on the phone, and you have a chat. And, you know, keep it really straightforward. If you're not having much luck with your own personal network, the next step could be to start looking inside Facebook groups. They can be really saturated places if you're looking for web design work. So if you've spent any time in Facebook groups, you will see that if someone says, oh, I need a website, like 1 million people will jump on that thread going, I do it. So that, I wouldn't, you know, that's not going to be a really easy way for you to kind of stand out and get your first client. But you can use Facebook groups as a way of building relationships with the right sort of people. Now, good people to start getting to know, getting that relationship with. And again, it's all that relationship building. So I'm not saying go in and start randomly messaging people or, you know, being all weird and spammy. But, you know, start making relationships with people who are possibly at the same level as you or maybe a little bit ahead, and who are in a complementary industry so that you share an ideal client. Copywriters are perfect for this. So if you can get buddies with some copywriters, they will tend to help you find clients, because if they are writing the copy for a website, they're going to want to find a designer that they enjoy working with. It's a really good working relationship. And that way also, if you can work with a copywriter, it means you're not going to have the lag and the delay that can sometimes happen when the business owner themselves are doing their own copy. It can really sort of hold the process back. So copywriters are a great bunch of people to connect with. Other ones are graphic designers. So graphic design is a very broad term, and they're a very diverse bunch. So if somebody's a graphic designer, don't assume that means that they do or want to do websites. Some people are just into doing print design, or they might do some small digital stuff, but they're not really into the whole big website thing, because it's a different kettle of fish. It really is. So again, graphic designers might have a client that they're doing their brand identity for, the logos, the business cards, all their stuff, all the other collateral, and they want to find someone to do the website for them. So again, you know, if you can create relationships with graphic designers, they might be some people who could help you find that first client as well. And BAs, OBMs might also be good people, because they're going to have similar clients. And again, they're a diverse bunch. They have lots of different skills, lots of different ways of working with their clients. So they might be doing X, Y, and Z, and their client wants a website, and so they're looking for someone to, you know, give that job to. So if you're going to use Facebook groups, that's how I would approach it. So just hanging out, building relationships, and you know, then once you sort of have a half decent relationship with people, you could say, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm looking for. Have you got any advice? Do you know anybody? And you know, you can take it from there. Another approach, and this is more for local businesses. So by local businesses, we tend to mean businesses that have a physical presence, so they're not online. So they might have, you know, they have some sort of shop or storefront or something. So, you know, I've done like an acupuncturist, or I don't know, mechanic, plumbers. So these are people in your local area. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but yeah, it's a good starting point. So you can, it's a bit more like cold calling. So you can kind of cross-reference. Well, if you go on, a good place to start is just go online and see if you can find some websites. And if they look like they need some modernizing, just reach out and say that I see you've got a website. I've done a little, would you like a free website analysis or something? And you can give them a little report showing where their website's falling down, and then you can offer to make it better for them. So that's sort of, that would be my third step. If none of the other stuff is working, I would start with warm leads, that, you know, people who know you, that you've built relationships with. Could then do a bit of cold emailing, you could even go in if you're particularly brave. If you can find a premises and drop in and say, hey, I don't know, I've never done that. I don't know if that would work. And then networking, good old fashioned, you know, networking in your local area. So if you could just, you know, go to these meetings, these meetups, whatever they are, and again, just approach it as a relationship building exercise. And if people ask what it is that you're up to, let them know that this is what you're doing and what you're looking for. And yeah, it's also a good way to make good contacts. So there is a whole bunch of ideas, and I honestly think if you applied yourself to even just one of them, but you have to apply yourself. Okay, it's one of those things that you can't sort of half-heartedly go, oh, I'm doing a thing, and then be like, oh, it didn't work, because you didn't really try. You know, it takes a bit of gumption, but remember, all you want is that first client. You just want one person. It's not that hard to find one person. And then you're off. So as I was saying, so this is part of, and as I say, it's easier to do this, and it's easier to be confident. And you know, people can tell. You know, confidence is quite tangible, isn't it? So you don't have to feel like you're blagging anything or pretending. If you wanted to join my sort of mentorship / coaching program, so I'm not going to go into that in too much detail here. But if it sounds like you are keen to add web design to the services that you offer, if you would like me to help you with that process and then be the person right there beside you when you go out, get this first client, which by the way would pay for the mentoring, right? So I'll help you find that first client, and then I'll be there by your side while you build this first website. So you can have that confidence when you're out pitching, because it's not just you on your own. And you might be tempted to think, oh, maybe I need to earn my stripes and do it for free. It's kind of hard to even find free websites, because to build, I mean, you could do them with your own project. You know, you could just do it yourself. But if you do anything for free for people, they tend not to take it seriously, and so you're going to struggle to get the content, for example. But you need building a website is a relationship between you and the client. You need them to do certain things so that you can do your job. And if you're doing it for free for somebody, they're not invested in helping you get it over the line, and it just will be really frustrating. And I'm not saying, you know, it's definitely an approach and people do it. So, you know, if that's what you want to do, go for it. But I think a better way is to come out of the gate doing it properly. You know, be armed with understanding how to get a website brief, you know how that process is going to look from start to finish, how you're going to follow up with them, how you're going to hand over the website, how you're going to build a long-term relationship with a maintenance contract. So there's all sorts of bits and pieces to it. That's much, you know, that it is better. It's a better way of doing it than just kind of doing it by yourself and seeing how you go. You'll get there. It'll just take longer, and you'll be working for free, and that's hard. Anyway, what I'm going to do is in the comment here, I'm going to pop a link to my calendar. So if you, let's see if that's worked. Okay, so if you think that something like this is something that would appeal to you, just click the link and book an appointment. I'm kind of booked out this week chatting to people because I've had quite a lot of interest. But book in for next week and we can have a chat and see if it's a good fit. Also, could you in the comments let me know if you want me to turn this into a checklist / cheat sheet so that all this information I've talked about here to have in like a little PDF format. And what I would also include is some example email templates that I have used when I've been approaching people doing this similar approach. So if that's of interest to you, let me know in the comments. Any questions, let me know as well. And I'm sorry I stuffed up the scheduled thing. I'll try that again another day. I will, as I say, technology always goes wrong the first time I do anything. So hopefully I've got that out of the way. And next time it will work. Okay, thanks guys, bye.